Welcome to Flavourful. Today we have again Deepavali, Festival of Lights. We are preparing this year. It is on October 19th, I believe.
Correct. It's a Thursday.
All right. It's well, some people October 18th and some people October 19th. But you come from the Gujarati faith, and for you guys, it's the 19th.
I believe it was more because Sri Ram came first to the south part of India, and then he progressed towards the north.
Okay.
So I would say it's because of that.
Okay, so anyway, 18th and 19th, but we thought we'd give everybody a head start and get prepared, and we're doing some sweets and a savory today. With me, joining me today is Neeta Desai. Welcome. I know you started already. Welcome.
Namaste.
Yes,
welcome
namaste
everybody. Today we've decided very to be adventurous and try 3 recipes so that you can get started on your Diwali foods or sweets. I think Hamsha is going to show you how she made the ghee. So we'll start off with that.
Yes, the ghee. The ghee is actually just butter that I put into this pot, and we left it to simmer on, well, basically like a number 5 or middle. This one goes to 10, so it's moderate heat. And until it got this way, you could see that the sediments have separated from the actual butter. Ghee. So that is what is clarified butter all about. So clarified butter is actually this part that is all clear. That is clarified butter. It's liquid gold in this day and age.
I know, and it's so healthy. They found out that clarified ghee is much better.
Clarified butter.
Clarified butter is much better than butter itself.
Yeah, well, that's the reason we try and separate the other little sediments. If I don't know whether you can see this in the pot. This is the sediments that comes out of it. And that's what we separate from the actual ghee, and this is what we get. And
I shall be using this in my first recipe. Right. That is called the magaj.
Right, that's a chana magaj. Chana meaning chickpea, so you're using the chickpea flour, which is a very high content of protein.
Exactly, and it's one of the legumes.
Yes.
And it looks very similar to this. So
and this is roasted one.
Yeah, it's just a roasted one, and we've got the flour for that. And we are both from South Africa. At least she is truly South African. I'm Indian South African because my husband stayed there, and they call it a chana magaj. Over here they have different names for it, but it's the same thing. So we need.
So what will you call it in the state of Gujarat?
Magaj.
Magaj.
That's true. We won't say chana magaj.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have to be specified.
I think the reason South Africa says chana magaj because you're making sure that people know that you're using the flour from the chickpea flour, from the split picked chickpeas.
Yeah, they're being very specific.
Very specific.
So that helps everybody.
Right.
So first I'm going to take this, by the way, the ingredients. I think we should go with that first. Yes. So I have a cup of gram flour here.
Yes, you don't need to lift up, right.
There's
and this gram flour is actually chickpea flour, or in the Indian store you'll see it as besan.
Gram flour, besan.
B-E-S-A-N.
Correct.
Right, and it is very high protein, as we said before. It's from the actual. This is just chickpeas and nothing else.
Nothing else. Ground flour. This is 1 cup of icing sugar. And then
it's powdered sugar right here.
Yes, it's
and we're using the vegan version because they talk about bone being processed with sugar. So here we all have the vegetarian organic
versions.
Sugar. Yes.
And then I have 1 cup of this fantastic clarified liquid gold, which we are going to use. And when I first start my recipe, I'm going to add this 1 cup of flour in a bowl. And then I'm going to take 1 tablespoon or 2 of milk powder. Powdered milk.
So our recipe actually tells you that you need to use a little bit of fresh cream.
Yes.
Or any kind of cream. But my good friend had left her cream behind at home. And that's okay because she's now substituting. And this is what cooking is all about. She's substituting powdered milk for it.
And or you can even put mawa. Now mawa is a heavy milk that you boil
so when you boil the milk, when it comes to a solid, more like a solidified stage,
exactly,
that's either koa or mawa, right?
Yes, koya or mawa.
Right.
So then we take 2 tablespoons of milk and we add it into this mixture.
I think our recipe said 3 tablespoons, so therefore it was 45 milliliters.
Okay. And then we mix this very thoroughly. I'm going to go in with my hands. I made sure I doubly washed them. So why do I need to do that is I need to even add some ghee in this. I need to make it look like a crumbled mixture.
Right.
So what I will do is, and since this is too much, I'm just going to use half a
So you have
tablespoon measure.
Okay. So we had 2 tablespoons in there and 1 cup in
Yes, so I'm just going to measure it out again.
there. Okay.
But we do need the ghee because that is what actually
So you're adding
makes
1 tablespoon there.
Yes, 1
Okay.
tablespoon over here. It's actually 1 now, and this is the second one.
Okay. So it's 2 tablespoons.
Yes.
You use the full 2 tablespoons like you kept aside
And
for
then
you.
you go in and you kind of mix it, and we have to keep this aside for a little while.
Okay.
And this has to be nice and mixed at the same time. It should not be lumpy. It should be coarse kind of thing.
So what I do in mine is I actually put it in the
Mixer.
Yes.
I do the same.
So that it
It cuts out all the
right.
work
It goes very much quicker.
much, much quicker. So we're going to leave this aside for about 10 minutes so that it mixes well.
Okay.
And while this is happening, we are going to work on our coconut ice.
Coconut ice. Okay.
Okay, because we cannot fry this till it's been about 15 minutes or so.
Okay. So we have powdered coconut or desiccated coconut like we
Yes.
know. And then you have some sugar. Again, we use organic sugar, so it's a vegan variety. And then you have about a quarter cup of
Quarter
milk.
cup of milk.
And then you're going to be putting a couple drops of red coloring. Again,
Exactly.
you've got to be careful of which red coloring you use. This is a natural red coloring. You can actually use beet,
Yes.
the juice of the beet, if you didn't want to
That's
use
much healthier.
well, this is also natural,
equally
so,
good.
yes.
So we're going to leave this here for 1 minute while we get started with this one. You want to put it on here? Oh,
Yeah,
here.
put it here.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And we're going to add our sugar and milk, and we're going to boil it for 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
a long time.
Yes. So this has to really boil into a thick consistency. And for that, we have to make sure it boils.
So you got to make sure that this syrup
Yes.
is
Thick.
nicely. I didn't know you had a spoon ready.
I did.
Okay.
Doesn't. So while this is also getting done, I'm going to add the 1 cup of ghee here. We are doing quite a few things together.
Together,
as
I can
women,
see that.
Like do things simultaneously.
Uh-huh.
So here's that 1 cup of ghee, which I'm adding to this pot.
Mm-hmm.
And in this pot, we're going to do the magaj.
Okay.
Because these things require so much of time and waiting time, we need to move on with the recipe.
Right.
So I'm just getting it ready. So we need how many more minutes? We have 5 more minutes still to go.
Okay.
So it has to boil for 15 minutes.
So does it has to be, somebody has to watch it all over the all 15
Yes,
minutes?
you should, because otherwise it may just get stuck to the bottom of your
Oh, it
food.
crystallizes.
Yeah, it'll crystallize
So you want to
very
avoid
soon.
crystallizing.
So
right.
maybe we can bring this lower now, because it is boiling.
Right.
But this has to be of the right consistency. Otherwise, it's not going to set, number
Yes.
1. Number 2, it will be loose. So it won't be like the ice that you wanted in little squares.
Right,
And it's very delicious. I sometimes put vanilla also in this, so it just gives it an extra flavoring.
Vanilla, cardamom.
Some people put cardamom, but in coconut ice, you don't put cardamom. That's one of the things I learned in South Africa. Very South African style of making it.
Yeah, well, this is not a typical Indian sweet. right?
Yes.
So
I love all the sweets that we are making because this one is so healthy. It's got so much of protein in it.
but all of them have sugar, but still.
But sugar is there. That's the only bad part. It's a killer. And then in this we have, if you look at our chura recipe,
Right.
we have the flattened
beaten
rice,
called poha.
poha. And this is very thin, so it's not very
So
high.
there is different varieties in the Indian store.
Yes, you get the thin one like this, and then you get a thicker one,
Right.
which is used for frying.
Ah,
No, we
okay.
are not going to use that.
Right.
Or even we use it for bateta pawa. It's called pawa.
Yes,
They put onions, and it's a savory. It's like a breakfast dish. But this one, we can shallow
So
fry it.
generally you can use it in place of rice whenever you don't, if you want to cook rice quickly.
Exactly,
So that's what
exactly.
it is. But
That's
anyway,
why
for
they used
today
to-
we're using it like a, more or less like you said, a trail mix, right?
Yes, that's what I call it.
Yes, I saw it.
You can put all kinds of interesting things in it. If you wanted sunflower seeds too, you could have added it. But I've got the traditional one that is peanuts, I've got raisins, I've got cashews, and I've got dahlia. Now, dahlia is the same thing as a gram.
It's actually roasted.
It is roasted,
Roasted split
and
chickpeas.
split peas. And here you can even eat this. In India, they
It's a snack
sell this.
on its own.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything with it. It's ready to
Just eat it. Don't even put salt or anything, and it's delicious. I think this is getting ready. You can see how the bubbles are forming.
Yes,
And you
yes.
can see it's almost like there's no more liquid left.
All right. So,
So-
do you put it in a saucer or something to see what stage
No,
it is?
no, you don't need to do that.
Okay.
That is very important when you're making mohan dal.
Ah, okay.
Now, there's a Gujarati dish we make which is very similar to this, same thing. For that, you need to do the same thing as I'm going to do here, but then you add this sugar thing in it. And then you have to make sure that you get 2 strands of sugar coming out.
When you put it
Sugar
in the
thread,
water.
as they call it, yes.
Right, right.
Some people put it in the water to see and to check. Now, if you remove it from the heat, you can see how much liquid is left. And I like to do that, but of course, you got to be careful. Don't burn yourself.
Right.
So I think this can do another couple of minutes. It's
Okay.
not yet ready. It
Okay.
was boiling so much I couldn't see how much of liquid there was.
Right.
Now, we have enough time has been given to this, and we are going to try and put this into the oil, into the ghee. Cannot call that oil.
No, it's not oil, it's ghee.
Definitely not.
Clarified butter.
Clarified butter. So this goes in, and it's at a very low heat, and that's what you need it to be on.
That's off, actually.
Is it? It says hot. Okay.
Yes, because we had it on.
Yeah. So we are going to put this here. I take every little bit that is left in the pot
Me too.
so that all the good things don't get wasted. Now this looks a little
Lumpy.
today. It can happen, don't worry. It's going to mix very well in the ghee and get roasted.
Right.
I wish we had our liquidizer so we could have just
Oh, we do.
Oh.
It's right there.
we could have just given it one little whir.
It's right there.
I know. So to save time, let's say that, and we can really get this going. While it's getting done, this is something we can focus on. So this is the magaj which will start, emitting a real
Right.
good fragrance, and you will enjoy it when you see it's done. It's roasted.
Yes, but right now it smells raw.
It's just
so you're
very
going to be
raw.
roasting it until the raw smell
Yes,
of that gram
exactly.
flour.
And it becomes more golden than it is right now too. So I think, how does this look?
I'm going to be working with this one on this side, and you
Okay.
work with that one.
Okay, let's do that. I can make this a little higher. Yes, let's see again. So now I'm going to add, Hamsha, my half a cup of coconut, the desiccated coconut that I had.
Or powdered coconut.
It was powdered.
we buy it ready from this.
Yes, I buy it from the store.
It's available everywhere now. I guess
Yes.
coconut is one of those wonder medium chain fat.
Exactly. Today, everyone uses a lot of coconut oil. I don't know. There's a lot of controversy still about it.
Yes, because it's a medium chain fat.
Yeah. So this you continue stirring. You cannot let it sit. That's one thing about all the Indian sweets that we make, that you have to take care of it
Right.
and have some patience.
Patience is the key.
Yes. So this is going to be ready soon, but we'll take that 15 minutes so the coconut mixes and cooks well with the milk and the sugar mixture. Okay.
Okay, so now we are done. You say your magaj, I mean coconut ice.
Coconut ice is done. You can
Done.
see how nice and firm it is.
Yes.
Now you can see it's done. Take it off the stove.
Yeah, fortunately this one, once it's off, it's all cold.
Good. And then we are going to add a drop. I think not more than that, so we can get a pink color, but we may need more. So we're going to test. Never put more. You can always, add.
Yeah, this is going to be a different one of the pink, the regular pink. This is actually red.
It looks more red, isn't it?
It is supposed to be a red color.
But I thought when you put less in it and you have
It
milk,
becomes
it becomes pink. Oh, it's not the pink I'm looking for,
We
but
can put a little more.
I can put more.
Maybe a couple more drops.
So this is how we need to see it. See, if you look at it right now, it's gone a little too dry because we left it on the stove while I was stirring.
Right.
It has to go off the stove.
Yes, but once this is off, there's no heat.
I know, but even then looks like it just has, you know, absorbed all the sugar. So now we have to fix this a little bit
So how you fix it?
by adding milk to it or a little bit of water.
Okay.
So if you do this, and we're going to start the stove so that
process
it
again.
cooks a little bit more, not too long. And I can even add the color to get it. Now it's
Better
going to be
color.
nice and red.
Red.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad it happened here, so people know, you know, if they have a problem at home.
Yes, this is how you
to
solve it.
rectify it.
I would have put a little milk.
Right, if you were home.
Yeah.
But yes, I had the little extra tablespoon, but you added it in here. So hopefully this has got not too much of milk now.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You know, any sweet can take milk or sugar.
Yes.
There's no problem. So it's not bad. Look, we had to put a little bit extra over here in order
Right.
to get it pinkish.
Right.
And it is done. So we're going to switch this off. And luckily this is an induction stove, so it you know, cools so quickly. So we are going to put it in a greased pan or a tray. We just made a little, so it feels odd. We've got hardly anything to spread.
Yeah, in the interest of time, and also
Yes. It's too much of sugar. I'm not going to be able to eat this.
so generally what we do is we put a layer of white
Yes.
at the bottom, or pink at the bottom,
No, white first.
and then the pink on
then
top,
you
or vice
add
versa.
white on top.
Yes.
That's what the recipe says. But I cut short and just going to make one layer. So
There's a ghee spoon there if you want to take your coconut out.
yes, okay. See, Hamsha is very, very careful about not wasting a single bit. So you just flatten it like this. Now, if you really want to make it very Indian in taste, you can add your cardamom on top. You can add nuts, whatever you want, okay? But this version is not like a barfi, like a coconut barfi. This is more like an ice that goes quickly. And if you set this, it'll, you know, after we finish all the other things, this is going to be something that will be ready. If you notice, you can see the aroma.
You can smell it.
Yes.
And you can see it's slightly browned.
Yes.
And you would make it a little bit
Coarse.
more breadcrumb-like than this. But this works too. The taste is going to be there. It's
Yes.
all nice and...
And now we have to cool this.
And the thing is, if you don't cook this enough, then you're going to be getting
A raw taste.
bitter taste, and then nobody's going to like it.
No.
No.
You really need to do this very well.
Right.
This process is the most important.
most
process.
important, that's
That's why
true.
you need patience for that.
Oh, yeah.
Sugar is still coming. So we're going to add a little oil in here. Very low heat for now. And that's just about a tablespoon or so. And we are also going to do at the same time, we're going to show you how we're going to toast the nuts, the cashews, and I'm going to even put the dahlia there so that it comes nice and crisp. And I also have some coconut that I'm going to use. So all this can get toasted while we are kind of braising the chura.
Okay.
So can I put this in the oven? We've already preheated the oven. This is getting hot over here. We are going to try and add our mustard and then some jeera, and I also have some sesame seeds. Did you know that mustard has such great benefits for us? I never knew, Hamsha,
Yes.
that
Oh yes, it
it's
has a lot.
anti-inflammatory and it's got a lot
I
of...
don't think it's hot enough.
Not hot enough?
No.
There you go. You need to know your stove.
Yes.
That is the most important thing. And after that, you're going to add some
So
jeera.
generally, we normally wait for the oil to get nice and hot, and then as soon as you put the mustard seeds in, well, you can see it's spluttering already.
Yeah, it
So
will
now it's
splutter. And then you add in your jeera. It's spluttering very fast now. And you need 2 teaspoons, or 1 teaspoon actually, this is half a teaspoon,
Of sesame seeds.
Sesame
seeds are very high in calcium and protein.
Yes, it's very good. Now, I'm going to do something that is going to shock you. I'm not going to cut the chili. I'm going to add it here to give it a flavor. And if people who find it too hot and don't want to eat it, they can take it out. So this gives it a little bit of a kick to your chura. So I'm going to add that pawa, that is the thin pawa, in here. And we're going to stir it. So this has to...
I can smell that flavorings already.
Can you see that curry leaf? They say curry leaf is so good for you.
Oh yes.
People,
Therefore, I cut mine very small.
you should just grind it.
Yes.
Some people say you make a powder out of it and you can sleep well if you've got insomnia.
It's actually apparently good in iron too. So
Yes, very, very rich.
We've done a whole show on curry leaf here.
Is it, eh?
Yes.
Even the chilies, the jalapenos or the green chilies that we use are very rich in iron. So that's great.
And the capsaicin is very good for a lot of different things too.
So now we want to kind of toast it.
Right.
So we'll have to give it another 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to add the raisins also. It will be nice to add the raisins in the beginning too, so that they puff up a little bit.
Right.
So in the recipe it says add it in the beginning. If you don't add it, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So while that is toasting, let's make sure that this doesn't get burned.
Let me toast it on this side while you
Yes,
cut.
okay. So we're going to cut this. You can do it lengthwise. So you can make it into nice squares. Maybe today it's not very accurate, but this is how it'll be.
So this is what you said is right? And I just took the coconut and put it
Yes.
here also.
So
And
we've
then
got
this
all
is
the
And
toasted
this is all
nuts.
toasted, so you're just going to add it all in.
Yes.
And this is ready.
It's ready. Now this is warm, so we're going to add 1
Powdered sugar.
cup
of
of
powdered
powdered sugar and stir. And we're going to add a teaspoon of cardamom, which is ground. So I have 1 teaspoon here. And you stir it. A little bit of nutmeg goes a long way, and we can add a little bit of that. And once we add these 2 things, we mix it up as nicely as we can, and we are also going to spread this and sprinkle our nuts on top.
You got pistachios
And I've got pistachios and I've got almonds that are blanched and then slivered. So this is done. I was trying to take out all the lumps. I'm going to put it into this tray. This finished version is going to take longer to set. So we will show you a picture of it later once it has set. And since you already have this, I just sprinkled some cardamom on it. I will sprinkle the...
So do you put raw almonds or you roast them?
I roast them
Oh,
usually.
yeah.
And then...
And also you can color them to make a little
Yes.
bit more colorful.
some people don't like the color.
Yes,
they want
but
it
again, if you
original.
want natural color, that's good.
So we have the pistachios that give it a lovely green.
Neeta, thank you. You did such a great job. We still need to cool a little thing, so therefore we didn't cut it and display like we normally would.
This is not the best effort, let me tell you that. We had a very, very restricted time limit and things.
But the taste will be great, and the recipes.
I can assure you.
And the recipes are foolproof.
Absolutely. Try it out. It's never going to go wrong.
Right. So here we have our chana magaj, which is based on basically a chickpea flour made with clarified butter and some powdered sugar and some nuts. That one there is another ice, which is coconut
ice.
and milk and
Sugar
again.
Very simple, takes about 30 minutes. flat.
Actually, you can do it even quicker than that, as we found out today. And this is a chevada, which you normally would put some turmeric and things, so you'll have a different color. So here we didn't have the turmeric.
It's all natural.
It's delicious. It's healthy. You've got all your healthy ingredients. It's actually a meal in one. It's got
Yes, it's quite satisfying. You have your protein there. You have a little bit of carb. You have your raisins. I know that is a little too sweet for some. But you've got everything. Some people can even add potatoes in this.
Yes, you can add potatoes.
Grated potatoes.
Oh, then they call it chaat. Oh yes, grated potato when you fry it.
Fry
becomes
the whole
crisp.
thing, yeah.
Yes,
That's a little added layer.
Right. So with that, this is, hopefully you'll have enough time to prepare for Deepavali. Again, in 2017, it's October 19th.
Or 18th.
Or 18th. But your family, this is as per your tradition and as we did in South Africa all those years back, but we would make much bigger quantities.
And a lot more stuff over here.
And put them into the nice little plates.
There would be banana puri, there would be, you know, the magaj, the barfi that is missing, the halwa. And then, of course, we have our samosas and all that we will show you also.
Right.
And that can be added.
All right. And then you have a mixture with the coconut or whatever filling inside, or a pastry made into like
gugra, we call it.
Like,
some people call it poli.
It's like
some
a Cornish pastry. But
yes.
It's an Indian thing.
Sweet.
Yes. And with that, hopefully you got enough time to prepare for Deepavali. From us at ActonTV and as per Neeta's tradition. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm so glad to be here for Flavourful Eats, and I'm glad to share whatever little I know. Hopefully it has helped.
Oh, it will definitely help. And again, these are foolproof recipes, so please do try it. It may look like it takes a long time, but it's all labor of love.
It is. It is.
Enjoy from Flavourful Eats till we meet again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.